everybody. Welcome into Domesticated Gamblers. Three dads with our favorite picks of the day coming to you each and every weekday. It is February 16th, 2023. You got the Eric and Tito show again today because Sean is still in the darkness with Aaron Rodgers, I guess, right, Tito?
What a fraud this guy. Doesn't make any plays last night. Like you said, still in the darkness. What kind of Packer fan is this guy? I mean, I know he had a cheesehead back in the day, but I mean, my God, he's taking his fandom of Aaron Rodgers to another degree. 2 straight days of darkness? Where's this guy doing? I mean, I know we're both cashing checks. You're on a freaking heater, 8 games in a row, Daddy. I mean, it's been impressive, but this guy, he's too afraid of us. He can't stand the fact that we're still cashing checks, baby. And what a fraud he is. Get back out of the darkness, Fish. We need you back here. Come on.
I think he's still reeling from that 1-6 night a couple nights ago. Apparently, we don't need him because we combined to go 5-0 last night and won over $1,000. I won another $100 this afternoon with the bet in that Barcelona Man United game. That is now 8 wins in a row for me. So we are firing on all cylinders right now. Thank you very much. I am still in last place overall because you and Sean have just been destroying it so far for this first month or so since we've started this show. But Sean is now in last place for February, and we are over halfway done with this short month. So we're going to see if I can continue on with this heater. And I really feel like I'm seeing the board well now. I've stopped putting out so many plays. I've been more selective. I'm not going crazy, and we're cashing in right now, baby.
I mean, and you're tailing Godson Tay. I mean, this guy extended an olive bench last night, and I apologize, Godson Tay. Man, I was wrong. I'm sorry, Godson Tay. I mean, 6-1. These plays are cashing left and right. You truly are sharp. But if you still want to come after Tito, I'll take some, baby. I still think I'm a better NHL handicapper than you, Daddy. So if you want to comment on this link. Tell me what you think about some plays tonight. I'll come over the top when I'm ready to, baby. Woo!
I want to see that because Godson Ty, you think I'm on fire right now. He just cashed in last night. He did a 4-team parlay, one of those kind of lottery ticket ones a little bit. So he had Man City, who won yesterday for both of us, and he had 3 overs in the NHL that all hit. So it was a plus 1,200 hit for him last night. So Godson Ty, he's only 23 years old, but he's starting to build that bankroll. So excited to see him continuing to cash some checks here. We do got to get him on the show. We got to get him on the show. I want to see you boys go heads up in the NHL. But if you are watching us on YouTube right now, smash that like button, subscribe to our channel. Real easy way to help out the show. Like Tito said, drop a comment in the videos. Come on the show with us. Join us. Become our fan of the week if you'd like. So tell us what you'd like to talk about here on the show and go heads up with Tito. So get involved there. Hit the notification bell too so you can get our videos as soon as we drop them. Show is also available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So if you listen on Apple, please take a minute to give us a 5-star rating and write a quick review. If you listen to the show but you want to watch us, or you're not going to see Sean these last couple of days, but you get me and Tito, just go to youtube.com/@domesticatedgamblers. Ooh, I like that move, Tito. That was very hot. Very hot.
Oh, yes.
Also on TikTok, just search Domesticated Gamblers there to find us. You can also follow us on Twitter @GamblingDads. A lot of green check marks for me on Twitter as of late. But Tito, how's your day going today, buddy? What have you been up to? And I'm enjoying the St. Louis Dogs t-shirt you got on right now.
Oh yeah, can't wait. Got another week or so until the season kicks off for the Dogs, for the city. Absolutely loving life right now. You know, just doing some domesticated dad duty. Had to pick up the kids from school earlier today, and later on tonight, Daddy. Oh, we got basketball practice. This so-called Sean and his son gonna come. I'm gonna make this kid do a bunch of wind sprints, bunch of suicides, and man, I mean, my basketball game is totally on point. Everyone saw the video I did last week where I took on the I don't even know what they're called, the Doe Bros or some high school CYC league. What a fraud that is. And then this past Sunday, had the opportunity to watch some third grade action, had some kids sharpshooting Tito. And let me tell you something, baby. Tito took these boys to total school. It was a complete embarrassment. I mean, I was stealing balls left and right. And these weren't just like third or fourth graders. These were like high schoolers, baby, and it was just fantastic. I was dominating the boards. I was dominating the lane. I was stealing balls. I was hitting 3-pointers and all that good stuff. It was a what?
I have to cut you off here, Tito. I'm getting breaking news from my earpiece here. I understand we have some footage from this past weekend
Footage.
at the
What kind of
Joan
footage
Dome.
do you have?
Let's see if our producer can pull up our
What
footage
the
here.
hell is this? What are you doing to me? You have this for this video. What? Yeah, see? Exactly. Look at Tito call negative defense. Yeah, great defense by Tito here. Look at this. Come on, man. These guys don't have nothing on me. Look at this. Steal for Tito.
Oh, he didn't even make the layup.
That's clearly been doctored. I don't know what the hell you're showing me there, Eric. That's clearly been doctored. I don't know what the hell's going on. Who took video of that? How did you get footage from that? I think the South City Zebra must have infiltrated our show. What the hell did you find that from?
Yeah, I have a background in media, Tito. I have some reliable sources taking some footage for me. I very staunch defender right there. But you're missing the bunnies, struggling around the rim. You got to finish those, Tito.
Oh, that's a complete fraud. Like I said, that video's been doctored. I was dunking on those boys, and I don't know where you got that. I don't know what you did. I don't know who you're working with. You might be working with that famous Coach Adams over at the Joan Dome, baby. I don't know. I mean, those guys over there are complete frauds. The Athletic Association doesn't know what they're doing. They don't know how to handle a basketball league. Tito needs to revamp that whole entire system. I don't know where you see from there. Tito was dominating. Forget that video, people. That's been doctored. That's total fraud material right there. I can't believe you. You should. We're singing each other. Hosea's here, and you have the audacity to play a video like that. What the? Well, we're supposed to be friends here. I mean, what's going on here, Eric? What did I ever do to you?
Yeah, man, I'm like a zebra. I got to call it like I see it. I get some data, get some footage. I got to show the facts of what's going on here.
I mean, man, you're broken, Tito. I'm speechless. I'm speechless. I mean, come on. Like, seriously. Like, you can clearly see that that wasn't even HD quality video, first of all. That's been doctored. Come on, clearly you can see that's been doctored. That ain't legitimate. That's a complete fraud of a video. I trust Tito here. Tito's the one on the heater. Get on the Tito train. Tito knows what he's doing with basketball. Come on. Let's move on.
All right. I'm just saying, you got to make those bunnies. You got to finish around the rim, whether it was doctored or not. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt there. Maybe another idea for hashtag content. I think we need to do a free throw contest among the show.
I'm absolutely in favor of that, baby. We play. What's the one basketball drill they used to do? Knockout, baby. I'm playing some pickup basketball later on tonight. Tito has won like 7 in a row pickup basketball. I'll shoot some video. I'll show you my domination with my free throws. I got this. I got rhythm. I got my point game on strong. Man, I'm dominating the knockout game at pickup basketball. You have to come up one of these times to the Joan Dome, and we can shoot the rock, and you can see Tito's great skills, how they've progressed over the years, Daddy.
I'd love to, man. And I'm serious. I would love to score keep a basketball game too, just for old time's sake. Get my little clicker out, score keep some more of those games. Maybe this would be a situation like the scoreboard when I did it 30 years ago was pretty basic, almost like a 1985 Nintendo where you got your 4 arrows and your A and B and your select and your start. Maybe it's gotten more fancy over the last 30 years and I'm going to be out of my league, but I got to get up there. I got to meet the South City Zebra, see these South City kids hoop it up. I would love to pop by the Jones Dome.
Well, let me tell you something. The scoreboard at the Joan Dome, it's a little bit more advanced. We progressed to the tenth of a second, unlike the gym that you used to scorekeep at, which is fine. But it's still kind of old school. We still are South City dirty, so we're not blessed like to be in the Baldwin area or wherever Sean's at. I mean, with his in-ground pools and all that fancy stuff. So it's still South City. But we have advanced a little bit.
Well, that's good. And we were talking about basketball yesterday with Gus Johnson and Bill Raftery. And we're really getting to that time of year where, man, those familiar voices are going to come back and call these memorable moments in March Madness. And it got me thinking about a question of the day today. What are your top 3 favorite announcing teams of all time? And this could be from college basketball, MLB, NFL. I don't know if you saw this, Tito. Tim McCarver passed away this afternoon. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
81 years old. I know he was kind of a polarizing figure, in the announcing game, whether you loved him or you hated him or you found him annoying or really insightful. Either way, dude was an absolute legend on the call of so many big games with Joe Buck over the years. So tip of the cap to Tim McCarver, because that's someone you just associate with big games. The David Freese game, Game 6, 2011 on that call. So as we think about Tim McCarver today, and we would get ready for March Madness coming up here in just a couple weeks. Tito, I'll let you lead off here.
Yeah.
Think about it from across the sports world. Your top 3 favorite announcing teams of all time.
Yeah, well, first of all, thoughts and prayers to the McCarver family. I mean, that's an absolute, again, 81 years young, tragic news, but long life. McCarver, always seeing him on CBS back in the early 90s, mid 90s with him, and when it was Jack Buck, and then when it was Sean who was it? Sean McDonough.
Yeah.
That was always, I love those baseball games, love those announces, and it was really, really great. But, talking about classic announced teams. I mean, what a great question of the day this is, Daddy. I mean, this is Tito's specialty. I absolutely love these announced teams. And and my third favorite, really underrated team. We didn't get cable. Tito was not blessed enough to get DirecTV or cable until the mid '90s. And the mid '90s, I mean, that was one of that's a forte classic college basketball. You got Allen Iverson, you got Marcus Camby, you got John Calipari. Where was he at UMass? All this fun stuff, right? I mean, it was great. And I'll never forget having Dickie V and I think his name was Mike Patrick or Dan. It was Mike Patrick. Those guys, absolutely love them. Dickie V with the high energy, over the top, baby. He's a diamond, all that fun stuff. That's where I get this voice from, right? I mean, it was awesome. He's awesome, baby. And Mike Patrick, just an absolute staunch, just dead straight guy, great straight man, and was absolutely fantastic at that role. Number 2, I mean, it's going to be no surprise. I mean, we got to go with Gus Johnson and Billy Rafferty, baby. Just absolute nuts, bananas from both sides of it. Gus could do a really good job, too, just being straight. And then those exciting plays, him and Raph would just be able to bounce off each other. Just absolute great style for Tito. Absolutely love it. And then number 1 for Tito, I'm going to go with baseball. I love McCarver and Buck. I mean, that was all absolute staunch, just pure class, great announcing. Joe Buck, I know some people, he's a polarizing figure. He doesn't really have that catchphrase, never had that really big catchphrase. I mean, there were some great calls, but, it wasn't like Danny Mac with, out of here or whatever, or John Rooney with his, his catchphrases. Joe Buck called straight down the middle, just really pure class. And McCarver with his insight and analysis, I absolutely loved it. Again, 2 guys that were really polarizing, but Tito, big fan of those, and those would have to be my top 3, Daddy.
Those are great answers. I like the Mike Patrick, Dickie V play because I think I must have got cable around the same time as you because I want to say it was 1996. And this really sparked, I'm a huge college hoops guy, and this is what happened because we got cable in March. I think it was 96. Maybe it was 95. But it was the year of the Big East championship game, classic game between UConn and Georgetown. It was Ray Allen against Allen Iverson. And it was just, it was this classic game. And this is one of the very first days I had ESPN. And it was Dickie V was on the call. An incredible game with these 2 studs just going mano-a-mano. And I was hooked on college basketball from then. And I really think that was the game that really took my fandom to the next level of not just rooting for, Mizzou and St. Louis U, but this national brand and really get my first exposure to Dick Vitale. It was incredible. It was just so good. So yeah, I didn't really think of that as a team, but that's a great call. I really think about March Madness a lot when it comes to this. And Gus and Raph are my top 1. No doubt about it. Just them together. You think of all these moments that they've had. I remember just one random Sweet 16 game. It was Kansas State against Xavier. And it was there. The Kansas State was hitting these, or Xavier was hitting these just insane shots to stay in the game. And Gus was just like, just peak Gus. I just will never forget those games with Gus and Raftery. Buck and Aikman for me. I always a big game when those two. It's got that big game feel when it's Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. So I'm glad they got back together on ESPN. Love hearing them. And then another March Madness one is my number 3. Kevin Harlan with pretty much anyone. I love Kevin Harlan. But I think in March Madness he usually partners up with Dan Bonner and Reggie Miller. So love Kevin Harlan. That's probably my top 3. I gotta have some honorable mentions here because there's just so many good ones. Vern Lundquist and Raftery when they were partners.
Oh my goodness! How did I forget Vern and Raff? I mean, absolutely incredible. You're 100% right on that one.
It's just like Kevin, it's like your 2 favorite grandpas, like just sitting there calling a game together. Just the best. Vern and Gary Danielson on the 2:30 CBS game of the SEC every Saturday during football season.
Vern on Masters. Vern doing the Masters. I mean, that's incredible too. He's a great voice, great calls, and in a lot of different sports.
Yeah, growing up, Keith Jackson and Bob Greasy on ABC college football. Think about like those Michigan games on a Saturday afternoon.
We are live. No, that's Brent Musburger.
That was the next one I was going to mention when Musburger and Herbstreit on Saturday Night Football. Chris Fowler's fine. Like he's kind of reminds me of Jim Nantz, like kind of vanilla ice cream. They're solid, but something about Musburger. You are looking live here on it. I remember at the Mizzou beating Johnny Football and Texas A&M to go to the SEC title game, and Musburger and Herbie were on that call on Saturday Night Football. So other ones from the old days, Marv Albert and the czar of the telestrator, Mike Fratello, on those NBA games with Michael Jordan and the Bulls back in the day. Monday Night Football, Frank Gifford, Al Michaels, Dan Deerdorf. That was really right in our prime growing up. And just locally, we've been super, super lucky here.
Oh, yeah.
KMLX, longtime home of the Cardinals, Jack Buck and Mike Shannon together. It just feels like home when you hear those guys together. Ken Wilson and Joe Micheletti on the Blues games. Here comes Shovel Day. Here comes Shovel Day.
Well, and Micheletti, a great color guy for Wilson too. Wilson, the excitable guy, the great play-by-play excitable guy. Micheletti, kind of a straight shooter, absolute stud. St. Louis has been blessed with a lot of different, really, really good play-by-play teams, especially nowadays, right? With Kerber and Vitale and Kerber and Chase and Pang and Kelly. I mean, there's been an emphasis for broadcasting here in St. Louis, which is, I think, another reason why we love doing this, and we absolutely love watching these sporting events.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I got a little treat last night because I was on that Rangers Canucks over. So I flipped on ESPN Plus about 9:00 last night, and you can choose which team's broadcast to listen to. And so I chose the Rangers, and it was Sam Rosen and Joe Micheletti on the call.
There you go. Sam Rosen, another really good guy. Is really kind of a really nice play-by-play guy. Got that New York feel to it. I mean, that's another good play too.
Yeah, so it was a nice nostalgia there to hear Joe Micheletti's voice last night. I cashed that play by the middle of the second period, which is nice. Got to go to bed a little bit early. So that was the final pick of last night of me sweeping the board, going 4-0 last night for a profit of $715. As I mentioned, also won my bet this afternoon on the both teams to score in the Barcelona-Manchester United game. That is now 8 wins in a row for me for February, 37-29. plus $585. And overall, Tito, I'm now 59-44 and up $969. So I am right there on the cusp of $1,000. I'm not going to get there tonight, though, because I don't really love anything else today. So I'm going to pass on tonight. I think I've done a really good job lately of being more selective in my picks. Yes, you can. I need to get to you a little bit later, though, okay?
This guy, what an absolute embarrassment. You're asking me yesterday or a couple of days ago whether or not Tito's going to sit and kind of rest his bankroll, and that you're going to have one great night, a couple really good nights, and now you're not playing tonight? Is Tito the only guy that's not even really betting that's going to bet tonight? I mean, is that really what we're doing here?
I mean, I figure I already got my play and my winner in for today. So when I send the recap tweet out tonight, I already got my winner. And I want to protect this streak, man. Like 8 in a row. I want to see if I had that 10-0 day on the day of the AFC and NFC title games. I want to see if I can get this thing into double digits. But I am going to give out one more play, though. It's not for tonight, but it's one more play in the Champions League that's a futures pick. But I want to get it in now because I think there's good value here. I don't want it to move on me. So, Tito, man, money's money, right? This is a 3-star play, baby. So pay attention. You're going to want to tail on this one. So, again, we're in the Sweet 16 of this tournament. Each matchup is 2 games, and the team that advances is determined by aggregate score. So I'm already on Bayern Munich to qualify for the next round and knock out PSG. That's a 3-star play. Got off to a great start yesterday. So that one looks really good. I'm adding another one here. So this is a parlay on Manchester City and Napoli to qualify for the next round. So Man City's up against RB Leipzig. Napoli is taking on Frankfurt. These matchups do not start until next week. But again, I want to get it in now, so you can too if you want to tail. Again, it's a parlay on Manchester City and Napoli to qualify for the next round in the Champions League. Taking that as a 3-star play, you can find it at minus 153 on Bovada. If you're on DraftKings and FanDuel, you can get it there too. It's really easy to find. You have to pay a little bit more juice. I got to come get you in a little bit, okay? But it's minus 153 on Bovada. That is a book many people, myself included, have access to. So I'm taking that for a 3-star play. Tito, I'm going to let you give out your picks. I'm going to attend to the child here.
Absolutely, Daddy. You go do you. You're fine. Domesticated dad. Do what you got to do. Tito gets more screen time. That's totally fine with Tito. Everyone, I can't believe Eric went with another soccer pick, a future soccer pick. What a fraud that is. What an embarrassment. At least it's not some bet that's like 0.2, 0.5, 49, or 7Z thing that he did a few days ago. So kudos to him. He's the soccer sharp, apparently. We're going to keep tailing him on that. He's on fire. But Tito is going to go another college basketball 3-star play, Daddy. We're going to go to the Summit League, baby. I got a team that I've been a fan of ever since last March Madness that Eric put me on to. He gave him a nickname, Oral Bob, baby. Absolutely love Oral Bob. 23-4 in the Summit League. They're 14-0 in conference. They're taking on this complete fraud of a franchise of a university, North Dakota Fighting Hawks. What the hell is a Fighting Hawk anyway? They're 4-10 in conference. They're a complete embarrassment. Or Bob's giving them 19 points. Doesn't matter. Lay the 19, Daddy. Oh, Bob, gonna put it to him. Gonna win by at least 25, and I absolutely love it. Or Bob gonna march their way to another NCAA Division I tournament selection or whatever you want to call it, Daddy. That's a 3-star play. We love it. Or Bob. They still got some guys from last year's squad. I don't remember the guy's name. I got Abams or something like that. He's averaging like 38 points a game. He's shooting like 78% from 3-point land. Absolute crushing it. Should be player of the year, but he's in the Summit League, so it doesn't really matter. So we're going over Bob. Later than 19, 3-star play tonight.
God, I just effing love that play. If I wasn't on this 8-game winning streak, I would hop on it with you, but I don't want to lose it on that. I freaking love Oral Bob. I believe his name is Max Abmas. Just is this crazy score. He's going to play in the league. Oral Bob, that's a huge spread, but my God, they're a very good team. I think they can make some noise next month when we get to the big tournament. Oh, I love me some Oral Bob, Tito. Love the pick.
I mean, absolutely. Saw that play earlier this morning, and I was just like, "Oh, there's Oral Bob." I didn't even realize they're 14-0 in conference. I mean, what a great team this is. What a great program they're building in Oral Bob. I mean, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, very good team and very good picks by you, Tito. Another one last night, winning $300 on Xavier. I don't know if you mentioned this already as I was tending to my child, but another 3-star winner last night. So for the month of February, you're 16-14, but you had that huge night in the Super Bowl with a plus 450 play, the cash for you on a 2-star play with Hurts scoring 3 touchdowns. So you are up for the month $1,680. Overall, 32-23. and you're back over $4,000, baby. Back up over $4,000 at plus
We're
4.
marching our way to 10K, baby. I promised yesterday it was going to be 10K by the end of March, and it's going to be over that, baby. You got to be with the Tito train.
Yeah, it's plus $4,070 overall, man. So let's keep it going tonight. Let's have another perfect day between you and me. Sean, I guess he's sitting out. Maybe if he texts me a play, I'll put it up for him. But I guess he's inaccessible, sitting in the dark. He's 24-30 on the month. But again, he's up $260. I went back and totaled this up, Tito. On 3-star plays, Sean is 9-2.
Wow.
9-2 on 3-star plays. So, if he puts out a 3-star play, probably a good idea to tail him on that. So that's really been saving his ass lately here in the month of February. Overall, he's 56-51, plus $1,620. Again, that's overall for the year so far. I do want to remind people, in case you missed the show when Sean gave this pick out, he is on the Atlanta Braves to win the World Series. He gave that out. It's a 10-1 odds where you can find it. Sean took that as a 1-star play. So I just want to make sure I give the people the full information there if they haven't watched every second of every show.
Ron, let's bring up the stats of what he went against head-to-head against Tito. I'm sure that's not very good. I'm sure he's negative 6,000 against that, baby. It just so happens that he's 9-2 and 3-star plays, and so he knows how to do it. Tito, I don't know what a 3-star, 2-star, half a star, negative 16-star. I don't know what this means, but Tito's cashing checks and is way over 4,000. Let's talk more about Tito, Eric. You got to give me some more props, Daddy.
Hey, that's what I'm trying to do, man. Up over $4,000. I believe in you, man. Like I said before, you are like a pure virgin soul right now that has not been scarred by all these horrible gambling stories. And you are just using your gut instinct as almost 40 years of sports fandom. It is serving you well. I want you to ride this out as long as you can, because it literally brings me joy when I see you cashing these plays, because I know how much you're enjoying it too.
Yeah, absolutely, baby. Absolute, like I said a few days ago, total new perspective to my sports watching experience. I absolutely love Bad Beats with SBP and Stanford Steve. And so now another element. I can maybe see some bad beats. I can see some different things. I absolutely love it. So thank you for introducing me to this. It's been awesome. Let's keep on going on the Tito train, and let's keep on casting some checks, Daddy. And if you want to cash Tito's checks, comment on this video right now. Tell me how sexy I look, baby. Tell me how you like my dog shirt. It's absolutely wonderful, baby. Let's go.
One other thing people comment on is I'm imagining you're probably going to be releasing some WWE picks on tomorrow's show. Is that paper? Or I'm sorry, it's not a pay-per-view. What's it called?
It's called a premium live event, baby. What a fraud of a name that is. You got to go back to pay-per-view, WWE. What are we doing? We got to stick with the old times, not this new schmingle-lingo stuff. What a bunch of wolf that is. Premium live event. And it's not on Sundays anymore. What are we doing? It's now on Saturday nights. What a bunch of fraud that is, too. And WrestleMania's on 2 nights. They got to make it 2 nights now. They got to get that extra revenue, Daddy.
So is Elimination Chamber this Saturday night?
This Saturday night, Daddy, when Tito's going to be watching it on Peacock. Peacock, if you watch this, come advertise on the show, Daddy. You got to give us some love. We're plugging the premium live event, baby. It's awesome. And then WWE, Monday Night Raw coming to St. Louis at the end of March. Too bad I'm going to be too busy watching some botch madness. I won't be going to the show, but it's going to be awesome, baby. Road to WrestleMania. We're on it, baby.
Your Dickie V impression, God, it just brings me joy. It fills my soul.
Complete fraud of an impersonation. Nobody knows what I'm doing, but I love it. I think I sound just like Dickie V, baby.
All right, so we'll have some WWE picks tomorrow, I presume. Are we going to avoid the minus 5,000 picks? Do we actually have some real picks that you'll be giving out?
I was looking at the lines today on betonline.ag for WWE, some offshore betting site. I don't even know. I have to go onto a VPN to log onto this site. What a fraud that site is. But no, I see a bunch of negative 7,000s. I'm not even sure if I can play those anymore. I guess I can. I can find some other value. I don't know. It's a little tricky right now with this because of the way the things are operating. Some of the rumors and innuendo that WWE is going under. The sales talks have quieted down a little bit. I think they're going to wait till after WrestleMania for that. So if you find a bet, saying that WWE is it going to be sold before or after WrestleMania? Take the over WrestleMania, and then the main event on Saturday night: Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn. Elimination Chamber, Eric. I'm giving a little bit of background here to WWE, and I like it. It's in Montreal, and Montreal, for all you pro wrestling fans, is a really really glory spot of wrestling. What happens in Montreal is unique because of just the market and the history of Montreal. And guess where Sami Zayn is from? He's from Montreal. So there's a lot of conspiracies going on about, is Sami Zayn really going to beat Roman Reigns and go to WrestleMania to face Cody Rhodes? Or is it going to be Roman Reigns to beat Sami Zayn in Montreal? I'm sure if he does that, there are going to be a lot of unhappy people in Montreal. So the rumor is that it may end up in a schmaz finish, meaning that there's not really a clear-cut winner. So what will happen at WrestleMania is there'll be a three-way dance for the WWE Heavyweight Universal Championship. That's a tongue tester for Tweedo. But guess what? You got to do this, and then at WrestleMania, three-way dance, Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn versus Cody Rhodes. If you can find that bet, comment on this link. Let Tito know. Because it's a three-star lock, Daddy. That's what's going to happen on Saturday night. I'm calling it right now. Three-star lock. There's not going to be a winner on WWE Elimination Chamber. It's going to be a schmaz. And then what will end up happening is three-way dance at WrestleMania. I'm calling it right now. I don't know if I could bet it, but if I could, it'd be a 15-star play, baby.
I got to get on this with you. I got to do an investigation of all these offshore sites and see if we can find, I guess that would be a draw.
I don't know. Draw, win by disqualification. I don't know. I mean, it would just be like a no contest, maybe. I don't know.
One more thing I just thought of that I guess this is kind of a serious question. You mentioned how the WWE, it's these premium live events. That's what they're calling it. But the UFC, their business model is still pay-per-view.
Right.
Doesn't it seem a little odd here in 2023 to still be doing pay-per-views like that? I feel like they could get a huge media rights deal from, and I know they're in bed with ESPN because like a lot of the prelims and, title fights are on ESPN Plus. But I mean, obviously Dana White's not stupid. I'm sure it's extremely profitable, but I'm just a little surprised. Do you have any insight on that? Why they do the pay-per-view instead of getting a media rights deal?
So here's the deal with UFC, and they've got a multiple $billion deal with ESPN. I'm going to go out of my Diggy V voice here, obviously. They've got a multi-year $1 billion deal with ESPN.
Wow.
ESPN has the streaming service ESPN Plus, right? That you have to subscribe to. I think it's like $9 a month or something, maybe $6 a month. But to get access to the pay-per-views, you can't be just a regular cable subscription provider anymore. Like I got DirecTV. Maybe you got YouTube TV. Maybe you got Spectrum. Maybe you got some other cable provider. If you have a cable provider, you can't get UFC anymore. You have to be an ESPN Plus subscriber. Then you have to pay $80 to ESPN Plus, and that revenue is combined together with UFC and ESPN. That's how the deal works. So UFC is getting both the best world. I'm sure they got a great deal. It's a multiple $billion deal with ESPN to house those UFC fight nights, the prelims. UFC also has their own streaming service. It's called UFC Fight Pass. It's $5 a month. You get all the you get most of the archive footage from back in the day, and you get your own content for like Dana White Contender Series, bunch of just unique programming that's only on Fight Pass, and then they do that. They get a profit off of that. They get a profit off of the ESPN rights, and then they get a chunk of the $80 cut that ESPN charges to air the pay-per-view. So to call it a pay-per-view is probably antiquated too. They probably need to adjust the business model like WWE did and call it something different. But again, pay-per-view, I mean, that's just what we call it. I mean, it is what it is. The fact that WWE kind of went totally away from that and went into the model of, hey, if you subscribe a monthly fee to our network or to whoever has our content like Peacock, you get that event for free now. That's why I think they went away from that term pay-per-view, because now they're going to say that it's not as luscious as it once used to be. because the business model back in the day was, you had syndication, and nothing happened on syndication. You would watch Hulk Hogan fight this really terrible guy. You would maybe this terrible guy, and then you would to see like a Macho Man versus Hulk Hogan. You'd either have to go to a house show, or you'd have to fork over the $35 for a pay per view. But everything was led to those live events. But everything evolved.
Yeah.
TV landscape totally changed, and so then they evolved to the pay per view model, and now they're in the streaming service model where they want that constant revenue of every month someone's going to be paying the $8 or $9.
No, that
So
makes sense. What were those? I remember like watching wrestling when I was a real young kid, and you would see, yeah, on like I don't know if they call it Monday Night Raw then, they probably didn't, but like,
no,
yeah, it would be these like stud wrestlers like a Hulk Hogan or Macho Man facing just some bum. Would they call that
right.
guy a jobber? Is that what the term is?
1,000%, yeah, jobber, and you would see it on, and those were the syndicated shows. Those were the shows that they would sell to the local television stations. Here in St. Louis, it was KPLR. There was different organizations throughout every single market that was the huge, and a lot of that you would see maybe one or two matches, and all the other advertisements would be on buy the merchandise, buy the magazine. We're coming to your town. Hey, St. Louis, we're coming to Kiel Auditorium. Hulk Hogan hasn't been there in 15 years. Come see him live and fight, $1 Million Man or whoever. And that's how the business went. And then they started doing the pay-per-views. And they first did WrestleMania. Then there was about 4 a year in the early 90s. And then they went to one a month. And then it went to straight pay-per-views. Then they went on to, the cable, the cable networks like TNT or TBS or USA Network. And I mean, that's just how it's all evolved. And now they've seen it, right? They see where the TV model is not really the model anymore. It's streaming.
Yep.
And so that's why a lot of rumors and innuendo about WWE being sold to like Disney or to like Peacock or to like whatever the Fox one is, or to what to maybe Apple or maybe to Netflix or someone, because they're going to spend $1 billion, and then that'll be live content that Netflix or that streaming service can promote and can have guaranteed viewership on. And so it makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. Very interesting too. Just the way everything's running. But yeah, UFC still killing it with the pay-per-view business model. One of my worst gambling losses over the last year was on a UFC pay-per-view, breaking commandments left and right while watching the Kamaru Usman fight. What was the guy's name that kicked him in the head? Was it Edwards? What was his name?
Yep, Leon Edwards. And everyone's saying
Edwards.
about how great Leon Edwards is. And Leon Edwards is going to get dominated this next UFC fight that he's in. He's going to get knocked out within the first 3 rounds. It's going to be an embarrassment.
Well, that was a horrible loss for me. Tito, you've also experienced some horrible losses over the years. And that's why tomorrow on the show, as we wrap up today's show, tomorrow, make sure you tune in because we are going to cover what I like to call Tito's 8 stages of season-ending losses. So Tito and I have seen a lot of our favorite teams' seasons die while watching together. And I've noticed over the years that Tito goes through a certain emotional process, as the final game approaches before the season ultimately dies. So we are going to cover Tito's 8 stages of season-ending losses tomorrow on the show. This is my master's thesis that I have thought a lot about. I have fine-tuned my theory over the last 6 or 7 years or so, and I am ready to share it on the show tomorrow. So you do not want to miss that, right, Tito?
I mean, this guy, he comes up with this doctored footage of me in the basketball at the Dome today, and now he's coming after me with my 8 stages of season-ending losses. You gotta make me relive this crap over and over again. Every baseball game, every college basketball game we watch, he always has to send this to me. He says, "Oh, here we are. We're in stage 3 right now." And what are we doing here? Is this what you get kicks out of this? Is this where you get your jollies from, Eric? You are a sick man, boy. You're a complete fraud. I can't stand this. I gotta go wrestle some kids, get them going in the right direction with basketball. I'll see you later, Jack.
That sounds good to me. I can't wait for tomorrow's show. It's going to be awesome, baby. Tito, you go get your dad duties going. And before we wrap up here, just make sure you hit that like button on your way out. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Post a comment on our videos. We will chat with you there. And hit the notification bell, too, so you get our videos as soon as we post them. You can also listen to the show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So if you do listen, but you want to watch us, just go to youtube.com/@domesticatedgamblers. Also find us on TikTok. Just search Domesticated Gamblers and follow us on Twitter @GamblingDads. It's where I track all of our plays and our records. And Tito, we're going to be putting another green check mark next to Oral Bob tonight. Oral Bob -19. I cannot wait for that. So great show today, buddy. Remember, guys, if you're watching, we want to grow this thing. We do not want this to be a hobby. We want to make this a thing, whether it's on YouTube, a radio show. We need your support. So please share this show with your friends and family. Share the videos on social media, and we'll continue to crank out a show each and every weekday. So for Sean, out on assignment, sitting in the dark, for Tito, for Eric, I'm Eric. This has been Domesticated Gamblers. Thanks for being with us, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Let's go.